that likely touchdown, which obviously was the byproduct of Lamar Jackson just being naughty out there on the football field. Sam Hubbard, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. But Q, I'm going to pull up that play for you so you can see it, and you tell me when to pause it. But I got it right here. Let's add it to the screen. I mean, you tell me what you want to do here, but this was an unbelievable play on all sides for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I think first thing first, Lamar is going to tell you he wants to get that ball clean and not, have it fumble. You can go ahead and run it. And, you send Isaiah in motion, pause right there. You relatively have a clean pocket. I thought all day the offensive line did a really good job, minus the safety in the end zone, which I think there was some blocking miscommunication. But Lamar has an opportunity. Okay, let me just pause it and give myself a chance just to go through my progression. Now the ball gets fumbled. Go ahead and play it. And now pause again. In Ronnie's mind and any offensive lineman's mind, they're like, okay, I'm good. Okay, I got everything. Daniel Lele. Okay, I'm good. Nobody's there. Well, Hubbard is like, I got you. And so here's where the scramble rules start going on, and go ahead and play it again. I just thought he was down. He was down. He wasn't paused. Right here, you're having at the sideline, you're having a receiver come back to Lamar to make himself available. But Isaiah does a great job of, I'm going to go to open space. And we see it so many times. I mean, we're going all the way back to OTAs. This is classic. He's right by the S in Bengals in the right corner of the end zone, and he's going to make his way. Go ahead and play it. And just the way in which Lamar sees him, number one, he's getting hit, number two, but then also just the beauty of the way in which he went up and caught the ball. And, of course, Sam Hubbard, I mean, going down to his knees like, I did everything.
Hey, Q, we're going to have the other angle for you so you can show the likely. But, I mean, how demoralizing is that right there? Like, you're just sitting there being like, what else do I have to do to get 8 on the ground? Now I know why people are saying all the things that they're saying about him. There's got to be a phrase, right, for, like, getting Lamar, right? Now it was Smoot on the Jags.
Dwayne Smoot, yep.
Dwayne Smoot, and who was the other guy?
Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, yeah.
Slammed his helmet.
It's become
you see Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, going up after the play, dapping him up, with respect. Like, it's just play after play after play. It's incredible.
I mean, it's just shirts and pants here. And then Q, because I know you're saying you got to throw him open here, and I'm going to fast forward here just more because you just explained it. But in what world does this seem like it's going to be open? Hold on, let me get to it. Like, we can see right here, right? Likely's in the corner of the end zone. And the anticipation here, I know you're saying trying to find green daylight or, at least in this case, some orange and black daylight in the end zone. But, man, the anticipation here is unbelievable.
Yeah, see, and that's something that, it comes about because you practice and play with Lamar throughout, good God, weeks upon weeks of the offseason. And I'm telling you, very similar plays like this have occurred in practice. And you think, man, Lamar's not going to throw that. Man, Lamar should have been sacked. But this is the why. No, he's not sacked. No, he's not going to be just throwing it away. And, yeah, you as a receiver, you get acclimated to the point where now you see that top of the end zone where Isaiah's like, look, I'm just going to go to, as you said perfectly, black and orange grass and the back of the end zone. I mean, that was just awesome. Now, him going up and high pointing it and snatching out of the air, I mean, that was like, yeah, okay, I'm getting it. Nobody else is. This is going to be easy 6 for me to go ahead and come down with it. I think in my mind, arguably, this is the play of the year so far in this early portion of the season, especially, I mean, from a Ravens perspective, I don't see another play. I mean, the 87-yarder last week against the Bills, maybe if you want to go 1 and 1A, I think, the stakes were that high because they were coming off a game where, they almost gave it away against the Cowboys, all the other drama that was going on being 0-2. So maybe that gained momentum, and that's up there. Don't get me wrong. You can make a strong argument for it. But this one here, when you needed to have it, when you needed to stay within and know that you're battling, and it looked like it was a dead play. And for him to go up and snatch it and score was just remarkable.
Yeah, Q, can you make the argument that the Bengals secondary also gave up on this play because they thought it was dead? I mean, if you look at towards the end of that play, a lot of the secondary, especially as Likely is cutting across, you can kind of see that they're just more or less watching Lamar versus watching their assignments or making sure that Likely was covered. Likely makes that move towards the middle of the end zone, middle of the back of the end zone, and they're just kind of standing around. So, I think there was definitely this assumption that the play was over rather than staying disciplined there. It just kind of goes to speak to how the Bengals defense has played all year long, does it not?
Well, yes, and when you look at a defense technically we call it plaster. And I remember going way back in the days of Qadry Ismail playing when Marvin Lewis was my defensive coordinator. They call it plaster then, they call it plaster now. Basically, once a scramble happens, regardless if it's zone or man, you turn and you look for another jersey and you plaster yourself onto that guy. Some coaches would even say, hey, man, if that guy goes to take a piss in the tunnel, you go into the tunnel and pull down his zipper and give him the towel. That's where you're plastering him. You ain't up nothing. So that being said, when it's Lamar Jackson, now it's a little bit different. What happens if all of a sudden he breaks contain and now he's coming upfield? We've seen that throughout his 7 years. So it's not unreasonable to not be used to, I gotta plaster. Well, wait a minute. I got Lamar Jackson. I gotta go get him, or I'm gonna be a part of this highlight, and it's gonna be a negative highlight. And you're thinking, if I'm Hubbard, if I'm the other guys, man, I got him, but you don't. And again, for Lamar, it looks like, that's both Isaiah and Mark. I mean, both of those guys, they have done it a zillion and one times. I have seen it throughout OTAs, throughout training camp. Play very similar to this, where I'm telling you, you think, man, that's a sack. Man, that's going to be an incompletion. And sure enough, Lamar escapes and he has his eyes down the field and he's throwing it and it's a completion. So this is something that they work on, and it's just Lamar being Lamar. It's a part of how he's such a phenomenal quarterback.
And you know what? And you can see right here in this last video, and we'll move on with it. I can't read out the number, but you have the one guy with Likely, that the Bengals defender that sees him moving, but the one in front's just staring right at Lamar.
Yeah, that's
right.
What I'm saying.
But the scramble drill that you work on, hey, that's why you do a little backyard football practice, right? You never know, but you know how your quarterback moves, and then Baltimore's quarterback can do the unthinkable. I will also say there's probably two other quarterbacks that can do a similar thing. Josh Allen actually did something to the Ravens last week, falling out of bounds, and then Patrick Mahomes, but it's very, very few people on earth can do what Lamar Jackson and the Ravens just did there. And Q, you know what? I love the analogies. And also, by the way, if you're trying to still stay with it, be in shape, missile training, you're training people all the time. You got break right now. That's why you're joining us, right?
Absolutely. I'm about to have my next group come on in and take it to the next level. But yeah, missile training, you go to missiletraining.com for all your movement and sports performance needs.